tinfoil hat. Trust the science, bro. All right, well, what about my eyeballs? What about what I'm looking at?
I can go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake.
Space Force.
We still have comedy, though. We still have great comedy out there. There's always Ramblin' Joe Biden.
Come on. This guy is a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Oh boy. Say, do you want to go inside my clubhouse? I charge $50 for a hot dog.
Well, you know, the aliens could be showing up any day now.
Dude, this guy's an alien.
What up, Mother Earth?
NBC News has learned that disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein is dead.
You won't release the Epstein list, so you're gonna freaking imprison Andrew Tate?
You're living in the Matrix, man.
There is no spoon.
Here's the one.
I represent science.
You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Hack human beings to go under the skin.
CF allergies. Good.
I like turtles.
You guys know whenever there's like no toilet paper left, and it's like just got that roll around the edge. Like right
what you got stuck with?
Yeah, dude.
That's when you stick your finger through the middle of the paper, wipe, and then take the paper and go like that.
Oh shit! Oh man, you would do that, huh, Chad?
Hey, ask Matt about that.
Okay. No, I was like, well, I'm gonna take a shower after this, so whatever. Let's roll.
So all they got in there. Well, Sammy should know, how many pieces of toilet paper did you get in your C ration?
In my C rations, I didn't get any.
You had to use plastic wrapper,
leaves, socks, handkerchiefs.
Oh damn!
Dang. Was this in like the Navy or what?
No. I was messing around. That was before the military, back in the jungles of Puerto Rico.
Heck yeah! For people listening,
oh, they were like Japanese sea rations that were left there from World War II.
So I got my boy Sammy on. I got my boy Chad on. Sammy's the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. Chad is the desert rat. He's actually got a mouse in his shop that what is it, Mr.
Not anymore.
Jangles? What happened to Mr. Jangles, dude?
Do you even hear about the hawk that came into the shop?
Oh yeah,
I did hear about that, but it got Mr. Jangles.
I wasn't there that day, and then they were sending me pictures of like, it looks like the end for Mr. Jangles, and there was a hawk up inside the shop sitting on a sprinkler line.
Jeffrey got the video.
What Jeffrey are you spraying Axe on?
No, I'm smoking.
Not you, Drew.
What? Spraying Axe on?
Sound like this. It looked like you were spraying Axe all over your body.
No, I wasn't spraying no Axe.
We can't smell you from here.
All right, so let's get into the topic. So today I want to talk to you guys because every day we always BS and we always talk. I don't know. Every time I talk to you guys, I'm like, this needs to be on a podcast. Sammy's a gangster. He's always coming up with crazy theories and telling me about like the polar shift, flat Earth, and so on. And so I wanted to get your guys' take. I got a couple topics I want to talk to you guys about. Flat Earth is one for sure. So why don't we start with that? Sammy, what is your opinion, I guess, and Chad, but we'll start with Sammy on flat Earth. Like, what's your just random, when you first heard it, what'd you think?
Well, when I first heard it, I thought, like that's got to be crazy, It's the Earth is a globe. It's totally round, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we've been told ever since I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? The science books and school. It's a globe. You know what I mean? You don't have a map of a flat Earth on the wall. You have a map of a globe with the shit cut out so it looks flat because it's 2D. It's on a poster, but it's not a circle, right? And then you start thinking about it and looking at ancient maps and older civilizations and what they had going on, and everybody pretty much except for NASA coincides that it's flat Earth with a dome on it is what they say. You know what I mean? And I think about it like, okay, there's this group of people here that are telling us this, And then there's all this evidence from hundreds and thousands of years that are telling us that. So which one is it? Really, I don't know. You know what I mean? I haven't been to the edge.
Even in the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Even in the Bible. Yep. And all the books the Bible got written from too.
Right.
Different civilizations around the world. Talk about
Oh, that's a whole other subject right there.
Yeah.
The rewriting of the Bible.
Well, like the Book of Enoch?
No, well, how many versions of the Bible has been made and to translate so we better understand, or were they altering stuff?
Yeah, or both.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everything in general from history has been finagled by whoever won. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily trust history. I think there's parts of history that's true, but I think a lot of it is a facade of something different. I mean, we could go into that as far as we want, but that's kind of the biggest conspiracy to me is the flat Earth. If it really is flat, that'd be wild. You know, we've all seen the movie with Jim Carrey. What's that called again?
The life
the Jim Carrey movie. With the dome.
What is that movie?
Yeah, and they were filming him the whole time. It was like about his life.
Yeah.
It's Harry Truman Show.
Yeah, the Truman Show. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you watch that, even whenever I first watched it, I was like, oh, that's a trip. That's crazy. Like this one guy could think he's like in this world ever since he was a little kid. Now he's like almost 50. And then I don't know. I've got good friends, people who I believe are smart that are just like, nah, it's flat. And like the more I look at like Elon Musk and the rockets he shoots up, because we're here in SoCal just the other day, and like they're always going across the horizon. They're never just like launching straight up.
Straight up.
Nah, they're always going sideways.
Yeah. Just traveling across the sky. And somebody was like, well, maybe they're trying to project on the opposite side of the Earth. Maybe they're trying to project on the opposite side of the Earth, and they're just shooting across the sky to make it there. And I'm like, well, don't you think it'd just be smart just to shoot straight? You know, wait till our ball or whatever turns at the right angle, and then you just launch straight out. You would think, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
that's what they counter with. But
well, actually, if you went straight up as the Earth's turning, it's still going to pull you that way, right? Like a needle.
Yeah,
like,
but that
speedometer.
That launch is so fast that
yeah.
it's not like it's not like we're moving so darn fast that or else
well,
we would
I
see
know it
helicopters
kind of makes
disappear.
the argument for a globe or whatever, but it's like if you take off and you go at an angle and you're going with the rotation, then you're using the Earth's gravity to help propel you into space, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's like a theory or whatever. I mean, whether we believe it or not, I'm just
yeah.
You know, that's the argument you're going to get, like kind of the argument you would get back or something. So how do you? But there's so much. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of sorry. I'm stealing the.
Don't worry about
Sammy. You asked Sammy first, and here I am cutting him off. I'm sorry, dude.
No,
but if I don't blurt out what I'm thinking right now, by the time it's my turn, I won't remember it.
You won't remember it, yeah.
So sorry, I'm not intending to be rude by cutting you off or interrupting. It's just
no, you're good, brother. You're good.
I'll remember it, and then I'll be going, I was going to tell you something about
salud.
So tell me this though.
From the Stone Age.
Tell me this. You guys can both get in on this. So if the Earth is flat, clearly there's you would think that there would be a wall or some form of a destination where it ends, but and that's what's the most ridiculous point of the flat Earth. It's like, okay, go find the dome, go find the wall, and the idea behind the flat Earth is that we're actually surrounded by Antarctica, like an ice wall type thing,
right?
And so since we're surrounded by this ice wall, technically there could be more civilizations outside of that wall, and we don't know how far it goes.
And the firmament could be way further out.
Yeah.
And so then we go into another conspiracy about UFOs possibly being from those people on the other side checking us out.
Yeah.
Are we like a big ant farm to to elites or something? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, control, like that's the number one thing that I've noticed in general about society, at least whenever it comes to government, it's just control, whether it's right, whether it's left. So, I mean, you keep us in this little area. I don't know. It's just all this is just fun to think about. And I've yet to fully believe it. I don't even know if you
Oh
two
yeah, you
fully
got to
believe
put
it.
out that disclaimer. This is only our us
Speculation,
theorizing and not really
but
fact or whatever.
yes, it's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, entertainment purposes only.
Well,
Yeah, that way,
I mean,
we can take them down.
my distrust will
Well,
always
I don't
be
want you
there.
getting taken down.
No, no, no. We're good, dude. I'm not even tripping. I'll put this on Rumble, YouTube, everything. So
All right.
it's gonna fly. But for the most part, what I'm trying to say is like um I really truly don't know. I've never been to space or whatever, the top, just like you guys haven't. And so it's fun to have these conversations, but it always ends in the same thing. Like, who knows? You know what I mean? But to
For real.
but to make it so diabolically stupid to think the earth is flat, I also think is a wrong way to view this. And it should be taken a little bit more with a grain of salt and a good conversation like we're having right now. Um, but yeah, no. So if there is a what have you heard, Sammy, about what's past the ice wall, or any theories that you've come across in videos and stuff like that that's kind of made your mind turn a little bit and be like, what is that?
Yeah, I seen some like old maps people have come out with. I don't know how accurate or if they're legit or if it's somebody just making the shit up. But it's really interesting, right? So it looks like there's a ice wall around our continents, right? Minus Antarctica, of course, because that's the ice wall. Then right after that, there's a group of islands and continents all the way around that ice wall with their own ice wall. Then after
Right?
that ice wall,
And could there be more? Could Earth
yes.
actually be way bigger than they tell us?
Well, that's part of the funny thing that I saw in those maps. In some of those maps, in the first ring, you have, for example, Asgard or
Right.
what was it called? The land of the dead from Egypt. I forgot what it was called. One of those continents has that name. Lemuria, Mu,
Oh,
Atlantis.
where you would go to when you cross the river Styx?
Yeah,
Is that what
I
you're talking
forgot.
about?
Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but one of the islands had that name. Then there was the ice wall beyond that, and then the next set of islands and continents in that ring. All the islands had the names of the planets: Saturn, Mercury, Mars. You know what I'm saying? Of our solar system, but as continents in that second row of ice wall.
Right.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, wait a minute. That's interesting to think that, okay, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Well, shit, did we all come from that second ring past the second ice wall based on that map? You know what I mean? That'd be
Or did
crazy.
the women come from the third ring? That's
Right?
like a totally different atmosphere or whatever.
Yeah, that's the
Just
Amazon over
saying.
there.
But what's trippy about that theory, though, is we're in the center.
Yes, that is trippy. And what else is trippy, going back to
So
what
are
Drew
we
was talking
powering
about?
everything?
Who knows? Hey, but listen, what Drew was saying about the Musk's rockets going sideways instead of up.
Right.
What if you're going sideways past those ice walls up in the stratosphere, and
Right.
then coming down on the island, and oh look, I'm in Mars. That'd
Interesting.
be interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, yeah, for and like we can get back to flat Earth, but I mean, the thing that coincides with this whole conversation I wanted to have with you guys is the Earth and the planets and the moon and stuff like that, and that's what we're talking about. And so to touch base, like we see the moon every day, you know what I mean? It's always there. And the theory, this all kind of blends with flat Earth. That moon's a part of it, whatever it is. I mean, that's what we see. We see it's round or at least circular, and then like maybe has some form of a like a planetary
Concave.
ball look. Yeah, yeah, yeah. but we never fully see everything. Like everything we see on the moon, I don't believe it rotates. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't believe it spins. They call it the
It
dark side
doesn't.
of the moon. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
doesn't. That's weird as shit. It does not rotate. We rotate at so many thousand miles an hour, but the moon don't. But
Yeah.
it's always there. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Well, I thought they say it rotates in such a way that we only see one side of it.
I
mean, it's
guess.
just spinning like this.
Well, that's the excuse they would give us because you're like, how come the moon always looks the same? Like you
Right.
still see the same shadows, the same craters or
Yes, the
whatever.
craters. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then they, well, from what I heard back in the day, because I'm obviously older here, back to the Stone Age, right? So when I was hanging with the Aborigines, they're if you think about it like a concave, it's concave, right? Like kind of like a dish facing us, so it's like receiving everything. If it's like a satellite or which makes sense if the sun's shining from the certain side or certain angle, it would give you a crescent on the inside of the dish, right?
Right.
And then you have no moon when it's regular noon, it starts going to the other side, right? So I mean, to me, there's possibility it's like that, or who knows? But it is weird.
That's where we go back to. We go back to that theory or idea is based around the globe Earth model. Because
Right.
on the flat Earth model, the moon is actually inside the dome.
It does circles around us, right overhead.
Yes, in the
Same with
flat
the
Earth
sun,
model.
right?
Yeah, the sun, and actually, in some older depictions, I don't know if it's Egyptian or what, but it shows the stars and the sun and moon inside the dome, and then there's water outside the dome, and then the waters below, which is the oceans and the water on the earth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And well, is that the saying? What is above is the same below, or
As
whatever?
above, so below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's water above and below, it's water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting. So, with the moon being in the topic of conversation, I talked to a buddy of mine. He's a smart guy, but he's like, yo, we went to the moon. Yo, the Earth's not flat. He's very, very adamant about those topics. And he said, I brought up to him, about craters. When you see craters, you just see the hole, right? Like as if, I mean, you would think that it would skid and it would stop, and you'd see the whole skid and then the hole. But we looked it up, and Google says it's like a rock skipping across the water, or something like that. That it just makes hole impressions, and where it lands last is where it stops, and that's where the crater is created.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to believe all of it. But yeah, the moon in general. I mean, didn't they find out that like they tried to nuke it and it just vibrated for a long, long time?
Oh, the hollow moon theory?
Yeah, I don't know if they nuked it, but they bombed it, didn't they? And
it
they
was
said
it was a rover or satellite or something.
Yeah,
that they
wasn't that?
used.
Well, I thought one of the moon missions or whatever, didn't they drop the lunar module back down once after they were back in the return vehicle?
Yep, that's what it was.
To crash into the moon to take measurements and the left sensors or whatever, and they said it rang like a bell.
Yep, for hours.
Right.
But then again, that's thinking, is the moon landing real, and is the globe model? You know what I mean? So if we start
I don't think it's real because the flat Earth.
no, it's true.
That's
yeah,
what's crazy about our conversation, because depending on if you're thinking flat Earth model or globe Earth model, then everything else falls into place or falls out of place. You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, no, you're right. Because like, I personally don't think we went to the moon. I mean, 1960 to 71, like everything is. Yeah, it's just hard for me to believe that. And then,
well, especially now, we're how much more advanced are we in technology and everything compared to back then, and we can't freaking go back to the moon.
Yeah, I always say Jeff Bezos, if we could go to the moon, he'd put an Amazon sign on the moon. You know what I mean?
Dude, there'd be
So we see it
McDonald's
every
too.
night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
McDonald's and 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Um,
Well, we better get some advertising space for the Drewcast up there.
I know, right, dude?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's been a minute since I fired this thing up. It's like I've been off and on. Well, not even on, just off for like a year.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see you posted the one with. I thought you said you interviewed Trevor.
I did, but it's not a video. It's just audio. So it's on the Drewcast if you look it up on the podcast. But
all right, we were looking it up today in my office on
YouTube.
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna fire everything on YouTube and Rumble and these. Like I've talked to you guys about it before. I'm building a studio in my garage. Gonna get 3 mics so that way we can all just sit down, chop it up, do a UFC fight companion, whatever. So I'm excited about what the future holds for this show or whatever, and I'm ready to fire it back up. But yeah, so Sammy, it's all a trip, and Chad, like the flat Earth, and like you can just kind of go around and around and around for days and all that stuff. But with everything that's going on right now, like in general in society, like I used to really care. I loved Trump. I loved, all this stuff. I still like Trump, if I'm being honest. I'm more content with him in there than the lefties, but that's just how I roll. And but there's a lot of chaos still going on, and I still think that the ultimate goal in general for us and everybody listening is they want to divide you. They want to divide you from your friends, from your family, and in general just have at you emotionally and pull at your heartstrings with everything. And like for instance, the united we stand, divided we fall saying, like, is pretty simple to me with that. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going on. But I'm not really interested anymore in that. It's like I know their game plan. I know what they're doing. We were all up in LA. We saw, like, we were on Alameda Street where it was going down. You know what I mean? So
Hell, even before that in the BLM riots.
Yeah, didn't you guys close down?
Yeah, they shut us down and told us to go home when they were worried about like us getting caught up. And the next day when we came back, like over like one street over or whatever, like the gas station and all the store, like Taco, what is there, Taco Bell or something there, or there's a little Mexican fast food place and Jack in the Box right there. I don't know if you're supposed to say the name. It might be a copyright infringement.
No, I don't care, dude.
Just edit it out. Bleep it, bleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all got like ransacked. All the windows were broken out and stuff, and it was pretty crazy coming back the next day, like to see like all the like trash and everything that was left behind.
For
and
sure.
The damage.
For sure.
Crazy.
The summer of love, baby. Yeah. I mean, I saw Randy's, that donut shop we go to, like on TV with a fire burning in the middle of the road, or not a fire, but a car burning. And I was just like, oh, dang, that's where we work.
Wasn't that in the Rodney King video
Probably.
too, or something, or the white guy that got beat up in the truck or something? Wasn't it over there?
Who knows? I mean, you guys know more about that place than me. I've only been there a year. It's kind of crazy.
You might not have been born during.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad. That's my age show.
My whole theory on all that. What's up?
Go ahead. Go. Keep going.
Well,
He's
whole
just
theory.
laughing at me.
My whole theory on that the topic of the news and everything. It's like it's an energy that it doesn't suck the energy out of me like it used to. I don't give it attention. I look at, like, we've talked, we all work together, and like I don't care what race you are or any of that crap. Like it just doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. I'm done. I don't get into it, and life has been a lot more peachy for my mental health, everything, ever since I didn't. And my friends and my conversation with people, and it goes back to kind of love thy neighbor as thyself and all that stuff. But anyways, that's why I wanted to get you two on, because we're talking about flat Earth, we're talking about the ice wall and beyond, we're talking about the moon, and then there's different things that tie into this topic, with carbon dating and everything that we've been told. The world is 700 billion years old or whatever. And um I guess what's your theories on carbon dating and trying to understand how old this earth is? What are your guys' thoughts on that and what they tell us and what you think really is?
Well, what I understand from carbon dating is that it doesn't give you a date. It gives you a range. And the range is huge. You know what I'm
It's like a
saying?
century, right?
Bro, more. Like
Like 1700s, 1600s to 1700s.
I
Over
don't even
there.
know, dude. We could look it up though. You could look that up, Drew, on Google real quick. You know what I mean? Carbon dating, what's the ¿cómo se llama? What's the range? Because I know it's ridiculous, bro. It's like you carbon date some shit and it could fall in the Stone Age or it could fall in the Bronze Age. You know what I mean? Like it's a huge fucking span of time. So it doesn't really give you a exact date. It gives you more of a idea of between here and there, you know?
Yeah,
Like they did some shit with the pyramids versus the Sphinx, and the Sphinx appears to be older.
yeah, I wanted to get into that by the way, but it says it ranges from 50,000 years.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
that's
that's a lot of
ridiculous.
years, bro.
Yeah.
That we haven't been around that long. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean? Not even a fraction of that.
yeah, if it is even that old, you know what I mean? Uh,
Hmm.
and the funny thing, you bring up pyramids. I mean, that's on the topic of discussion as well. And like, I mean, all this stuff plays together, like from the Earth, pyramids, carbon dating, flat Earth, all that stuff. But I know you know a lot about pyramids, and you were telling me about pyramids not too long ago. You know a little bit about them. Um, was there pyramids? And you can call me dumb for this, but um, in Puerto Rico, is there pyramids and stuff like that?
In Puerto Rico that I know of, no. The natives down there that they built with basically the organic materials that they had around them.
Just
So
coconuts.
yeah, coconuts and palm trees, palm leaves, that's it.
All right.
But I'll tell you a fun fact. There's more pyramids outside of Egypt than there is in Egypt.
I believe it.
And I think there's another African country southeast of Egypt. I don't remember if it was Sudan or which one, but they got over 200 step pyramids. You know,
Damn.
you go to
How many
China,
more? How
China's
many
got a
more
bunch.
are in South America and stuff that we don't know about?
Oh yeah, dude, the
In the
Amazon.
jungles and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Central America's got a bunch. Oh yeah.
So what is the purpose of a pyramid that you guys know? Like I still don't understand pyramids, like what the reasoning for them were or this, you know what I'm saying? Like I know they're
Yeah.
cool and they're old and it still makes me wonder like was there giants or was the civilization just that much more um
Advanced.
advanced, yeah, at the time? And then that would mess with history like we've been talking about. Like how did the pyramids get built, first of all? And then also like everything that lines up with them and the stars and how it's like perfect and like you know what I mean? Like there's some serious advanced stuff to it and it just makes you think and wonder, well, how did they build that? And like what is that for? They say that it's tombs for pharaohs and stuff like that and where they could store all their riches, but what do you guys think?
Power source.
Power source?
Yeah. Free
Elaborate.
energy.
Elaborate.
Well, what they're finding out in Egypt right now, or what they're finally revealing, or whatever. There's probably too many people are finding out about it. Those columns and everything underground. Uh, Sammy knows way more about it than I do.
Yeah, not even.
But
But
I mean, well,
it's
because
a
now
fact.
I'm trying to remember, my old brain.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So,
I mean, you've used it. You've used it. The what do you call it? I think it was sonar or groundar or something, lidar or something
lidar.
like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
used that and discovered that there's these columns and spirals down there. Seen a video today of supposedly somebody that went in there and they were talking about it. And I didn't see the whole thing because it was a busy day, but it was very interesting. Now the question is, why are they telling us this now? Why are they even telling us? You know what I mean? When they keep everything hidden and everything's, you know what I mean? They got this whole story told already, and that's what they want to stick to. But now all of a sudden they're giving us this information. You know what I mean? I don't trust nobody, man.
Now the story changed.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
Mandela effect.
yeah, no. I mean, it's just
Another rabbit hole we just opened. Sorry,
why?
dude.
All
Yeah, for
good.
real.
All good.
Why now? Why are they telling us that they found some shit under the fucking pyramids? You know what I mean? They told us, I think, something about under the Sphinx, but they didn't talk a lot about it. From what I've seen, they mentioned it here and there. You can find a little bit here, a little bit there. They don't focus on that. Now all of a sudden they're focused on under the pyramids. There's these long things, you know what I mean? And then they told us about the hydrogen. They told us about the water under the pyramids. They told us
Yeah,
about
that's what I mean. Like
pools
the
of
river,
mercury.
there's like an underground river right underneath the pyramid of Giza or whatever,
Yeah, there's supposed
right?
to be so supposedly there's the water runs through all of them, and that's how they get the supposed hydroelectricity. And
Well,
something
isn't
about
it the reaction they're getting from the quartz or something?
they tell us all that shit,
Yeah,
and now all of a sudden there's this other shit under that. Is it real, or are they just adding to the story to confuse
right.
people, or like
So that's
I don't
how
know, dude.
screwed up we how far it's gone that we're so screwed up we don't even can't concern or discern what is real and what's not. So
Yeah,
you're like always questioning everything,
always
but I
questioning.
think that's a good thing. Now we're becoming aware. Oh, we got to start
True,
questioning is that fucking real
true.
or not?
Yes,
Oh, sorry,
and
Drew. Am
then
I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, dude. Just be
All
yourself.
right.
oh yeah, I did some cussing too. My bad.
No, I don't give a shit.
Sorry, we're all
But check it out.
construction workers out there. To you in the audience, we don't mean to
Yeah.
offend anybody.
So
Sometimes we talk like drunken sailors. I don't mean
to
to offend any sailors either.
or any drunkens.
Right? Hey, cheers to you.
Cheers to you, brother.
Well, I'm
Um,
thinking. Keep going.
I was gonna say, so on that topic about the pyramids and what they're showing us and what we're seeing, what's coming out in the media or the social media or the mainstream, whatever. And at the same time, we got the ice thing going on. A couple months back, it was the fires in LA that just popped out of nowhere in places that never burned before. And then before that, BLM. And so at the same time as they're telling us this information about these things, these findings, discoveries, scientific achievements, or whatever new knowledge we're getting, at the same time that information is being combated with all this other media about all these disasters and evil things happening, and then you can't focus on learning shit because you're more worried about, oh fuck, how's traffic going to be tomorrow? Oh shit, are they going to raise the gas prices because now these riots are getting to the gas stations? You know what I mean?
Induce
Oh shit,
stress.
yeah, induce stress, and then oh shit, now I'm gonna need to buy some more water. Oh no, you know what? I need some liquor. Okay, so now I'm not
Toilet
worried
paper.
about the poppy. Yes, toilet paper.
We
So
got
now I'm not worried
COVID.
about
We
the
need toilet
pyramids.
paper.
I don't care about the pyramids no more. I don't care about new discoveries. I don't care about what the government's doing. I don't care
Right.
about the meetings they're having. I'm not looking at the Senate and what they're talking about. I'm more worried about getting toilet paper. And that's some shit.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same play that they've been doing for a while now. Ever since I've been
Centuries.
paying attention, you know what I mean?
We've been just living in a big psyop,
Yeah.
like continuously messing with our minds.
Well, you could say, yes, I agree. Or you could unplug and not live in that psyop. And I'm
Right.
not saying don't be aware. I'm just saying I've
Don't fall
unplugged.
for it.
Yeah, yeah, don't fall for it. Yeah, like I see people now, because I fell for it when Biden was in office. I was tripping, man, all the time. I was telling my wife, like, Russia could nuke us. Like, I need to get, a year's supply of food. We need to figure out what we would do, excuse me, in a situation where, we'd have to take
It
the
wouldn't
family and get
matter
out of
at
here.
that point, dude.
I
It's
know. Of
it's
course,
not even worth it.
that's what I hear too. And
I would rather if I heard there were, well, in my opinion, well, this is what I say I would do when it comes down to it. We'll see, but I really push for this part of it because you never know what you're going to do at that moment. But I would drive towards the blast because I'd want to go right away. I don't want to die slowly of radiation poisoning.
Okay, see, but now we're back on that topic of exactly what I believe is bullshit. And like, I don't think anybody's gonna nuke anybody, and that's my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, because it's the end of the world. Everybody would launch while everybody else's missiles are in the air. It would
Yeah.
be, well, and that is if actual nuclear weapons are real, which is another. Sammy
Yeah.
and I discussed that one before.
I mean, basically, you're just committing an extinction suicide
Yeah, it's
if
an
you decide to do
extinction
it. So I,
event.
yeah, and like, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything. So that's what I'm saying, and like, that's what I learned, and it's
like the polar shift.
I'm gonna enjoy beer with my friends. I'm gonna enjoy jumping on the trampoline with my daughter. I'm gonna enjoy date night with my wife. I'm gonna enjoy talks with people on here. Like, there's a lot of doom and gloom sell. There's doom scrolling, doom selling, and like, I'm just saying, if you get caught up in that, you might as well get out. And like, that's where I'm at now. And I'd rather go golf, or I'd rather,
Right? If everybody would take a step back and get away from politics for 1 minute, we'd all get along real good.
that's what I'm doing, and I feel
Yeah,
that too.
I'm the same way. You know that.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, I like things, but I also believe that we all have the right to believe what we want.
for sure.
You know what I mean? So if I believe in certain things, like how I'd want the government run or whatever, and you have different ideas, that's okay. It's okay to disagree. Doesn't mean we have to hate each other.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm still a patriot too. Like, I love America.
Right?
I love this country. There's no better country in the world. And
Word up.
it's
I mean,
land
if
of the
you
free.
actually look at it, I mean, you look at different places in the world, sure, they all have their, like, probably what you would see all the time is like a rich part of the city or the main capital or something. But
Yeah.
the rest of the world's pretty, like, we have it actually really good, and I'm thankful that I was born here.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's a system of slavery in its own right too.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least, I get to have some beer in a nice house and air conditioning, and it's very unfortunate for people getting missiles up their ass, but I mean, that's why I love this country. But back to the planet and all that stuff. I have to say this one's kind of funny for me. And as a little kid, I mean, even my kids, they got these things that they play with, these toys, and it's called dinosaurs. And and dinosaurs are just, there's something to it. I don't know, and maybe it's instinctual. Maybe they were real, but like, there's an attraction to dinosaurs that I love, and I know I guarantee all you guys love it. And they got a new dinosaur movie coming out, maybe a couple of them. But like, I've always wondered if dinosaurs were actually real as of lately, like with the whole carbon dating and them finding certain bones. To me, it kind of makes me question, like, huh? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's still monsters
Back to
out
the
there.
carbon dating.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
monsters out there, like in the ocean. Like, I imagine, maybe I'm wrong. They could be lying about megalodons and all that stuff. I don't know. But for the most part, what is your guys' take on dinosaurs? Start with you, Chad.
I think they're dragons.
Okay.
How about that?
What kind of dragons? What are we talking about
I
here?
don't know.
Game
I
of
think
Thrones?
well, when you go back in mythical or what they consider mythical times or whatever, like, let's say, what was it, before King Arthur or whatever, when they had dragons or whatever, they'd have dragon slayers and all that. I think it was real. Maybe it was exaggerated about fire breathing or something, but I don't know. They all seem to have like a reptile. You know how they portray them as a reptile.
Well,
So
that's interesting.
you know what I mean? Like they all, like
dragons as reptile, they also portray dinosaurs as reptilian, right?
Yeah.
So what if it's a little bit of both? So check it out, right?
Hybrid from the Nephilim.
I think it was in Peru, they found a bunch of vases and pottery and stones with paintings of people riding dinosaurs or coexisting with
Oh
certain
yeah.
dinosaurs. And I
Well,
use the
what
word
is it
dinosaurs
in
because
like
that's
New
what I know
Mexico
about.
or something? There's those like ancient footprints that were fossilized in mud, and it's a human footprints right alongside a dinosaur's footprints.
Exactly.
So would it all of a sudden when a dinosaur walked there, nothing ever happened in that area, and the footprints were still pristine to know that it was a dinosaur walking there, and then all of a sudden it became mud again, and the human walked across there.
Yeah, no,
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he was walking his pet.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
You know, like
Now, check,
his ox or something to help him pull the plow. Or, you know what I mean?
yeah, or to pull the big ass limestone blocks.
Right. Let's get this
Bro,
freaking back to the pyramid.
I mean, just everything coincides if you look at it. And I
Yeah.
hate to use the word coincide because that implies coincidence. You know what I mean? That's a whole nother topic. But if you look at so the people in those paintings were portrayed with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, and I said dinosaurs again because that's the word that we're using, right?
Yeah.
Then
That's
you
what
have
everyone knows him
the
as.
then you have the footprints you're talking about. Again, human footprints next to dinosaur footprints, fossilized, carbon dated between the same 50,000 year period.
Right.
Somewhere in there.
Oh, you
You know
nailed
what I mean?
it. You're right. You are
Yeah.
correct. The
Yes,
carbon
sir.
dating proved it.
But then if we look at the written record of previous places and things, let's use the Bible for an example. The Bible doesn't mention dinosaurs. I believe it does mention dragon and unicorns.
Unicorns?
Yes, unicorn is mentioned in the Bible. Now, the theorists and people say that the unicorn they're talking about in the Bible is actually a rhino, rhinoceros.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Rhinos.
So in the Bible they talk about a unicorn, and mainstream people are saying that yes, it's because it was a rhino. It was a rhino, and those were in Africa, and Egypt is in Africa, and right outside of Africa is where all the stuff from the Bible happened. So yeah, they saw a unicorn, but was it a unicorn or was it a rhino unicorn? I don't know. This is what they say. You know what I mean? It's what they say.
That's probably how unicorn folklore came about. You know what I mean? Because it's got that horn, just like how the
It's
horse
a
has the
horse
horn.
with a horn.
Right.
Yeah. So I could see
Yes.
that.
You know what I mean? But
Well, they
then,
changed it to a horse to make the story more attractive.
yeah, it was
You know what I mean? Because not
romanticizing
everybody, oh, it's a rhinoceros. I'm scared of it. Oh, it's a horse with the horn. Okay, it's more,
it. So then back to the dinosaur thing and the people at the same time, but in the written record it talks about dragons. Could it be possible that it wasn't dinosaurs as we know them, but it was dragons? And then on the flip side of that, is it possible that they called it dragon and we call it dinosaur, but it's the same creature? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Now, the elongated snake looking ones from Asia versus the smaller, more lizard looking with the big wing ones from Europe. That's just different species of dinosaur
or reptiles.
or dragons.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm under the assumption that dinosaurs ain't real just because I hear that like there's not a true fossil. Like they're all just I don't know what they're made of, but like museums and stuff, I've heard they're not real fossil, they're something else to
I heard
mimic
that
it
too.
because it's too important to put those things up and brittle and all that stuff. So I just like going back to carbon dating and dinosaurs and everything that has to deal with archaeology and all that kind of stuff. And like it's funny to me, like I listen to Rogan and he'll have guys on that have like archaeologic wars against each other. Like there's a legit like stopping of recorded history of changing it and making it right, you could say. So that to me is funny. I mean, that's either human ego or cover up.
Trust
I
the
don't know.
science.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's the science.
I've done a lot of that on this pod, man. Whenever I first fired this thing up, it was during the vaccine time, and
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, this is crazy. Y'all don't see what's happening here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But uh,
Well, I'm sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
no, you're good.
I don't want to start into another.
No, we won't go down that rabbit
I
hole.
know.
I'm telling you, that thing's like a
We
dead
will
horse.
another. We can do that in another discussion.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all part of the propaganda. I mean, the machine
Right.
and everything, and like we were talking about earlier, it's good to
Well, they're
take.
also giving you the truth too, because they were telling you, oh, you gotta if you get COVID, you got a 99.99.97% chance of surviving.
Yeah,
Right.
and what makes
So
me
why would you need a vaccine? That's what I couldn't understand. I'm like, well, natural immunity, your immune system.
well, up is down, down is up, war is peace. It's all Orwellian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that's where I hope people can start seeing that, but it's up to them to see it. You know what I mean? Once you see it, like I was talking to Eddie today, and he's like, "Yeah, I used to, like in 2016, I thought Trump was, a bad guy, and then all of a sudden it clicked." And he's like, "And I've just never really seen things the same way," and that's kind of what happens. But I mean, to me, it's more common sense. But if you get caught up, I know what it's like to be like, mentally vulnerable, you could say. And like, so I feel for some people, you know what I mean? And I feel for the um manipulation of the whole system and stuff like that. So I used to have like arrogance and like bitterness towards people, like, you fucking idiots, but now I have a little bit more of a sympathy, like, yeah, if you aren't, I don't know, if you're not weak-minded, that's not the right word, but if
No, but
you're,
you're relating to where they're at because you've been there and just snapped out of it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they've been a victim of the system.
The
We just happen to pull.
indoctrination is real.
Yeah.
yeah,
So programming, television programming, radio programming. That's where it started.
yeah. Tell
What
a
do they call it?
vision.
Programming. Yep. You
Hmm.
call it programming.
Right.
What? You're
That's a good
programming.
one. I never heard that one, Drew.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Tell a vision.
Yeah. It's all, I mean, the thing about, the more you dive down these rabbit holes and you listen, especially with all the information that's out there, like, you realize how words have a lot of meaning, like the voodoo sign of it. You know what I mean? Like the principle of the word, the spell of the word. It says in the Bible, you give life through words or death. So it's interesting, when you understand the power of it. I watched a sick movie last night. It's called Sinners. I recommend it. It's
Heard of it.
yeah, it's like with Michael B. Jordan, that one.
On Netflix?
No, it's out right now, but like you got that box, so you're good. You can, yeah, I know, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Well, my bad. Like a box of chocolates. I know you got a box of chocolates, and you'll enjoy a movie
No,
watching it.
I don't, dude. I quit chocolate.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
Unless it's sugar free.
Carnivore diet, baby.
Yeah.
He's a recovering chocoholic.
Oh, dude, aren't we all? I like if I get a lot of drinks in me, I'm looking for salty and chocolate.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Savory, sweet and savory.
But I saw this movie called Sinners, and it's with Michael B. Jordan. I watched it last night. Super solid movie. It's about vampires, and um, it's like back in the bootlegging days, and Michael B. Jordan plays his own brother. So like it's the same guy, but he plays two characters, Smoke and then some other one.
What are they, twins?
They're supposed to be, yes,
All right.
but it's just him.
Yeah.
But the premise is like they're opening up a black bar, like a place where they can go. But there's some vampires that roll up. Let's just say that. And it's good. It's really good. Where was I going with this though? Yeah, the voodoo type stuff, like um witchcraft, power with your words, vampire, bloodsucker, all that stuff. Like, I mean, the cool thing I always thought about the Bible as a kid is like the power of angels and like and understanding demons and like understanding you know, there is a magic in this world. I believe in good faith, which is a form of magic, you could say, like praying and like asking for blessings and like legitimately believing, and then God gracing you with those blessings. So, you know what I mean? And then there's also the voodoo side of it, like the dark side of it, to get what you want, that kind of magic and stuff. I didn't think I'd go down this route, but we'll go down this route. Like, um, I was talking to no, I was talking to Chad not too long ago about the theory of Revelations and how possibly we're actually in Revelations. We're not necessarily like the time of Jesus or him coming back has already passed. And if you look around, you can see what we've been talking about, the stuff you don't want to engage in. But like you can see that there is a form of evil ruling this world. And it says in Revelations that Satan will have full reign over the earth and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I believe it says before Revelations, before the Antichrist, there will be a time of peace and love and prosperity and like all these beautiful things, and that kind of ties into Tartaria and all that. I don't know much about Tartaria, if I'm being honest. I talked to you, Sammy, today about
Mhm.
the Great Wall of China, back to the Earth, and how that could be a whole different thing made by not China, but by
Yeah.
Tartaria. Can you elaborate on that, what you were talking to me about earlier?
I seen a post or something, a video, and it was questioning that same thing you just mentioned. It said, "Is this the Great Wall of China or is it the Great Wall of Tartaria?" And according to the video, it was saying that the steep side of the wall faces China.
The defensive side of the wall
Yeah. So then,
faces inward.
yeah. So if they're building a wall to keep people out, but it's facing the other way, then it would make more sense that the people on that other side were the ones that built the wall, you know?
Of course.
And then it goes back to that same thing where, civilizations so old discovered certain stuff built, like they say the Aztecs didn't build those pyramids in Central America. They found them and repopulated them. Just like they say the Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. They found them and repopulated the area. So if you look at
And that's when
ancient,
they changed the Sphinx or whatever.
well, I don't know if they changed it or not, because you know what I mean. I wasn't around. I know you were there. I know you seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm just trying to tell you, and you've been calling me a liar all these years.
You know what? You're right, bro. We got a witness in the house. No. But if you look
No,
at
that's why the
'cause-
head's smaller than the body, like disproportionate to the body. How is it
yeah,
the paws and the body and everything are proportionate, but the head's smaller? It's because
yeah,
they changed
exactly.
it.
Yep, they changed it. They changed
Yeah,
it. I mean, shit.
I think it's been like so many different civilizations ahead of us that were even more advanced or whatever, and then they have an extinction event and then comes the next like we go from Cro-Magnon man to Homo sapien or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like now, is that like
Dinosaurian and all that.
the next level? Like, are they toying with different like versions of us?
Well, back to Tartaria though. Like, do you know much about Tartaria, Chad? Have you
Yeah.
seen?
Well, it was like, well, I think it was most of the like northern continents and stuff, right?
Yeah, and it was supposedly a time of civilization like that
Yeah.
we don't talk about, but like
What we call, yeah. Well, what is
Russia,
Russia now?
yeah, Russia has been bringing up more about Tartaria. And it's kind of like the history of it. I never learned about Tartaria, and I've heard of Genghis Khan, and I heard of all that growing up. But
I heard a wild one that, well, is a wild, but Melania Trump is like some kind of heiress or something to the throne of, you know.
did you hear this on a QAnon forum?
I don't. Well, it's just ideas I saw pitched out and stuff. I'm just saying if you've
I
ever,
know, dude. I just
yeah,
gave you
but
crap.
it makes you kind of think. It's like, fuck. Well, she is, like, what is she, Slavic or something?
She's Slahotvik. Yeah.
Right? You know what? Come on. We all have to agree. She's like the hottest first lady there's ever been.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? What you're saying, Chad, though, is actually I think possible.
Right?
Why? Because, for example, the last queen of Mongolia passed away in the 50s. You know what I mean? In the 60s, 50s or 60s.
Well, how do we know there's not like a still that bloodline going or whatever? Are they trying to kill bloodlines so that we don't have?
They don't mention anything royal after World War II. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
After World War II, it was governments, and the royals were just they kept them in place because they were
Figures.
there, but they're just figures of the
Yeah.
country, not really ruling, supposedly.
No.
You know? But not only was the Mongolian queen died in the 20th century, but didn't the Hawaiian royalties pass in the 20th
And the
century as
fires
well?
just like the other.
No. I'm talking about.
Well, wasn't
I'm
that all a
talking about
native
before
area
that.
or whatever that
Yes, that was the
that
land
burned
of
on the island?
King Kamehameha. King Kamehameha and his kids. That was their shit.
Yeah, and they
The
wouldn't sell.
The Haina, I think it was called, where the fires happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that belonged to the royal family. But the royal family, how many years ago was it that they stopped ruling? Right, that was like
I'll look it up.
I want to say 1900s, early 1900s, because after the what was it? Spanish American War. France decided to give Hawaii, the Philippines, one of the Samoan Islands, Puerto Rico, and 2 or 3 of the Virgin Islands to the United States for winning that war. You know what I mean? And that was in the 20th century.
Is that how you got Puerto Rico?
Yep, that's how we got Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Oh
Puerto Rico.
yeah, you told me
dude.
that. Yeah, for the World
We're
War II
proud of you,
drafts,
Sammy.
right?
What?
For the World War II draft. That's why we right? It's like real close.
Yes, because Puerto Rico got taken over by the U.S. I want to say it was 1898. I want to say 1898.
The same with Costa Rica, right?
I don't know about Costa Rica.
Is it because we could have had, militarily our military strategy or whatever? Because those would be great defensive points, kind of like Iwo Jima would be to Japan or whatever.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
so. I think so, but we
Like
never.
Guyana, why the hell are we? You know what I mean? It's like why are we splitting that country with somebody else? Wasn't it its own country at one point? Or
Yeah, no. My question was always why was it the Paris Accords? Why was it the French government that decided who got what from the Spanish American War? I think about it like, hold on. So the U.S. is fighting Spain. So why the
in the
hell is
Spanish
France?
American War?
Yeah. So why is France coming in and telling, okay, you guys get this and you guys get that, and that's the deal?
Right, France is right next to Spain, so we saved their ass.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
I don't even
How
understand
the
how
hell?
that.
We
You know what I mean?
saved your ass, but yeah, go ahead and tell us what to do.
It's
Is that what you're
weird. It's
saying?
weird to me. It's weird to me. It's just weird to me.
To get away from royal families and stuff, and back to the globe, or whatever, the flat earth globe. You talked to me. Well, there's two things I want to ask you about, but I mean, you were talking to me about the polar shift
Oh yeah,
and how there's legit evidence of that. Can you kind of dummy it down in an explanation of what the polar shift is and also what they're saying may happen from this?
All right. So
And this is if you believe in a globe, just so you know.
yes, yes, that's where it gets crazy. You ready? They're saying that the pole shift
Good point, Drew.
occurs every so many thousand years on this planet, and basically the poles shift from north to west and from south to east. So it's not like a full reversal. It just does a 90-degree turn, is what they're saying. Now, What's turning is the magnetic pole in the field around the globe Earth, not the Earth itself, is what they're saying. So, oh yeah, and my wife just reminded me, it's kind of weird, but it sounds like the pole shift is actually happening on all the planets in our solar system, not just Earth.
Isn't it because
what
I
I'm
heard there
saying?
was like a dwarf star that entered our atmosphere or something, or not our atmosphere, our
Planet X.
Solar system?
galaxy. Yeah, and it's like a dwarf star, so AKA a sun that burned out. That's massive. That's like throwing all things out of whack. And
Is
there
it
is,
Well,
that or a black hole?
yeah, but
I
then
don't
you got to
know.
think about it like this. Is that what they're saying to be able to justify what's happening based on the globe Earth model instead of the flat Earth model?
Dude, you're
Because
not
on
gonna
the
win
flat
there.
Earth, you know what I'm saying? On the flat Earth, if let's go off the flat Earth real quick.
All
If
right,
in the center is the North Pole
right.
and the whole
Any
ring,
direction you go from there, you're going south. So there is no
aha,
east or west, right?
aha. So then when the if how there's a shift, I just if I think about it on the flat Earth model, the pole shift doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? All I know is they're saying based on the globe Earth, right? There's going to be that pole shift, and then the crust of the planet is going to do one thing while the outside layers of the Earth are going to keep moving based on the rotation it already has. And when the pole shift, it's going to like jolt the Earth. You know what I mean? So next thing you know, all the volcanoes are supposed to blow up. There's going to be massive earthquakes all around the planet and major tsunamis everywhere. So based on that, California gonna be gone, Florida gonna be gone, and you're only gonna be able to really survive that if you're in between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains.
Nope,
That's what I
that's
heard.
not gonna happen either.
That's
You
what I
know
heard.
why?
Why?
Because that pole shift's gonna trigger the super volcano in Wyoming and wipe out the whole fucking place.
Yeah, but when the super volcano goes off, the tsunami
Yeah,
waves are gonna put the fire out, bro, and then we're gonna be good.
it's probably
You
gonna
know what
push
I
back the tsunamis, and we're saved.
mean? Well, you know. But then here's the crazy shit. Supposedly that shit happened before. And the result was they call it the Younger Dryas, which is like I guess the last ice age that's happened.
The Younger Dryas effect, or whatever they, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
let me look it
then
up.
you think about it, and it's like, all right, well, what evidence could we have of any signs of that shit happening in the histories of what we've looked at, right? And you think, okay, well, they're talking about tsunami waves and flooding, they're talking about earthquakes, and they're talking about volcanoes. Okay, so we had Pompeii that happened in Italy. I don't know if or how many other volcanoes were going off at that time. I know that was after the Younger Dryas, so the ice from the Ice Age was before that. I think Chad was born right after the Ice Age. So from what I heard, when the Ice Age ended and shit started melting, that's what created floods, right? So then it flooded everything up, right? Because all the ice is melting, right? So where's that water gonna go? It's gonna go towards the oceans, you know?
Yeah.
So whatever gets trapped becomes a lake. And whatever little bit of space in between one point A and point B is available becomes a river, you know? So then that's how the shit got put to where we've been seeing it somewhat nowadays. You know what I mean? We got lakes here and there, we got rivers here and there, we got islands, whatever, da 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 da. So all that shit
Well,
melts and makes a flood. Where do we have
well,
floods in the written history?
do you want to know what the Younger Dryas effect is?
Sure.
So its a impact hypothesis proposes that a large extraterrestrial object exploded over North America 12,900 years ago, according to carbon dating. That was a joke. I didn't say that. But
That was
triggering the
good.
Younger Dryas climate shift. The impact thought to have caused the extinction of many large mammals and the end of the Clovis culture.
Interesting.
So
The
they
only
talk
other
about.
time it flooded was in the Bible, right?
We'll get
Well,
into that in a
okay.
second. Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. What was that last thing Chad said? I was about to comment on it.
The Clovis culture?
Right before that.
Oh. God damn it.
Oh man.
So it proposes that a large extraterrestrial object exploded over North America 12,900 years ago, triggering the Younger Dryas climate shift.
Aha. Aha. So then they're saying that basically a meteor or a comet hit during the time of the dinosaurs. And then it says it took out big mammals, right?
Right.
But during the time of the dinosaurs, according to
So is that
mainstream
when the
science, there was no
giants were?
mammals. No, no, no. The mammals came after the Ice Age, right? Saber-toothed cat, woolly mammoth.
Well, they all had fur to survive the ice age.
Giant
Were they
sloths.
breeds that evolved to survive their climates?
I mean, according to science, evolution, then I guess you
Right.
would have to say, yeah.
But everybody's got different opinions about evolution too, right?
Oh, for
Oh yeah.
sure.
But so the Ice Age ended, and then there were the mammals. Before that, it was the reptiles. But then see, and then we got to go back again. Okay, hold on. If man walked with dinosaur, then there were mammals, because that was us. We're mammals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then,
Well, that's because they weren't smart enough to think that the history that they were rewriting contradicted
itself, yeah,
it. Right.
exactly.
So back to the polar shift, because this one's interesting me, because like technically it's happening, right? Like supposedly through data. I mean, I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
We've
yeah,
been
yeah.
talking about this. You were showing me how it, like a top that spins, it's been, our axis has been turning in different
Moving.
ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so does that mean ultimately that possibly at some point, and I'm just saying this theoretically, that America could be, or like Kansas, where I'm from, could be the new tropics, or of like the middle of Brazil, what their climate is now, and then Russia could be winter or whatever.
Yeah,
Russia could be like kind of turn deserty or something. Like it could,
yeah.
instead of being cold, and then Brazil could be actually what's
Tropical.
up? What's up, Chad?
No, it came to me and I was
Go
thinking, what?
for it.
Because we're at the center of these rings, right? So if they're rotating or whatever, it's putting torsion in the middle. So is the pole shift actually when it releases to allow the land masses rotating around to align, or you know what I mean?
Is that based on the flat Earth model or the globe Earth model?
The flat Earth.
Okay. Yeah. See,
Okay, I've been
that's
going
where it
Because
globe.
goes.
you know what I'm talking about? If we're in the center portion, the center ring, right? Because nobody talks about going north and hitting an ice wall.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Well,
we're in the center,
that's
you
where
know
I
what I
trip.
mean?
That's where I trip because the pole shift on the flat Earth model doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? The only way that the pole shift, in my mind, right
No,
now, makes
well,
sense is in the globe model. So if we're talking globe model, pole shift makes sense, and what they're telling us would be correct. But if we're going off of a flat Earth model, it might be something different. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I don't understand. Because if the whole ring around the rosy is south, then would that mean that the magnetic field goes from north to south all the way around? So instead of being an up and down line, it's another type of dome. You know what I'm saying? Like you know those glass shits with electricity in them, and you put your fingers on it, and it fucking electrifies towards
Like
the fingers and shit.
the Tesla coil.
Kinda, yeah. So then, if one's in the center and the south is the south pole is where the other side of that is, but it's all the way around,
right?
Then how does it shift?
Well, because we're
This is
on such a,
already all the way around.
how about if we're already on such a huge globe? You know what I
Okay,
mean? That
globe. We're
you
going
that
globe.
it is so big that you can't determine a radius, or to our technology anyway, or whatever. But in these outer rings, so as they're twisting, it's like, think about a stick. You have it here, and you start going like planted on one end, and you start walking one direction. It's bending, right, until it gives. So as these outer rings are changing their seasons because they're so far out or whatever, when you think about like our season's 12 months or whatever, actually we can get into that because I believe it was 13 months and they changed it. But you think about these outer rings, how what's their year, like how many days, you know, or whatever is their year compared to ours, because we're in the center, so we're probably going in a circle faster than the outer rings.
Yeah, but see, that's why I'm tripping, because on the flat Earth model, as far as I understand it, there is no spin. We don't spin. What spins is the stars, the moon, and the sun.
All right. Well,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what
On
I've
the
heard
based
too.
on the
then
flat
you,
Earth model.
all right.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, you could joke about flat Earth. People do it all the time. They call it retarded, all that stuff. But like, it makes me wonder with like the UN and their symbols and how the United Nations is a flat Earth model. It's just
Yep.
weird. That's all I'm saying. It's just weird. But like, if it was a globe, these polar shifts and all that stuff, and it's pretty amazing. Okay, let's just say it's a globe. Like the whole idea of us flying through space, and then we have that, like you sent me something on Instagram, Sammy, of the planet and like
Mhm.
how
How we
our
rotate through space.
no. It like how um because of Jupiter, I believe, like we have a clear outer space because
Oh,
all the
yeah.
asteroids like follow Jupiter and like sling it out of our area, you could say, in between
So
Yeah.
it's
all
like
of
a
our
maze
planets.
swinging around us.
Yeah, and
Kind of.
it's
Yeah.
grabbing it's
Just
orbiting.
knocking shit out of the way as our
Yes,
universe
and they
moves
were
through
saying
the
if it, yes,
or our solar system moves through the universe, right?
they were saying that that's kind of what clears out our, all the asteroids from hitting us. Like there'd be 10,000 more that would come or
Yeah.
something.
If we didn't have other planets around us.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man. Like even in general, like I get the flat Earth model is fun and it makes you wonder, hey, is it real? But even the globe version of us flying through space, which always blows my mind. Um, but the beauty of it, if that is real, both are crazy and both are beautiful, in their own right. But I mean, I'm not sold on flat Earth, and I got a homie that's like sold. I don't know if you guys are completely sold on it,
No, I'm not sold on
No,
anything.
I wouldn't say 100%.
and I
I don't
wouldn't
trust
judge you if you
anything.
were.
No, but I mean, it's just things that make you think about it. Like,
Hmm.
there's some valid points on either side or whatever. You know what I
Right.
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's like so is one side trying to get the truth out there, and the other side's
Dropping
using think
misinformation.
tanks to like debunk, and you know what I mean, and program us to keep the same lie we've been told since we were kids or whatever going. No, 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 no. We're not, we rotate around the sun or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I
But
mean?
yeah, but meanwhile, we're having to cipher through a bunch of BS like what
Right.
we've been talking about. So that's what makes us go, man, I don't trust anything. And
Yeah.
and that's what makes you open
Yeah.
to all theories. And I think it's a good thing. I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the more we supposedly will um like AI as that's integrated into our society and into our, our kids will be probably chilling with the robot, like our great grandkids, you know what I mean, like with these smart chat GPTs right next to them, helping them build the next rocket to find out if they're curious like us, they'll find out. And so
Well,
it's all super interesting. um
it's also scary when you think about it.
yeah, the AI thing.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, what if they're making nano chips?
yeah, don't they want that put that in your system so that way they can detect cancer and all that? But
Yeah.
technically, I mean,
Detect cancer, but is freaking now it's going to control you or whatever through
Well,
AI.
my thing with that is like I wouldn't get it because I mean if it's Orwellian, the society becomes that way and it can happen very fast, then the control of that person is now in the nanobots and whoever's behind that controller. So like if you just want to just like shutting off a Tesla, all right, shut off his heart. So like
Yep.
Right.
the things behind
Oh,
all that stuff.
he's not staying in line or towing the line. Freaking
Yeah.
cut him off from, well, like Trudeau did that shit to the truckers that were on strike. Remember that?
Yeah.
They froze their bank accounts.
Yeah, I quit using PayPal after that. I used to use PayPal and I just don't anymore. But like, I mean, back to like society and stuff like that. That's why you can't, that's why I'm a big believer in organic, no matter what. Like the human body needs to be organic. I mean,
I think
maybe
God put everything on this earth that we needed to cure and you know what I mean?
I like the idea of like
Naturally.
I like the idea of an arm, like if I lost my arm or something, like having a robotic arm. That stuff's cool to me. That stuff's cool to me. Like
Steve
Surrogate.
Austin,
Oh man, what's that movie
the
with
$6
Matt
million
Damon?
man.
Yeah, like I'm cool with all that kind of innovation. And even Chat GPT that basically is passing my OSHA 30. Actually,
Dude, but you're setting a bad example for your kids, man.
it's not, dude.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it is because now you're teaching. Oh, Daddy used it
no,
to
no, no, no,
answer
no, no,
his
no, no,
test. I can do the
no.
same thing.
I'm not
Yeah.
using it. I'm just
Now
saying
kids are
in the
just gonna be at home. Hey, GTP or whatever. Do my homework, right?
no, so check it out.
AI,
So
fucking computer's gonna do your homework.
before you go all ballistic on me,
Dumbing you
no,
down.
I'm answering the questions.
Sorry, the streams are kicking in.
It's pretty easy.
Sorry.
But no, like if there's like a question that I do have, like I'm unsure of, I do just get on Chat GPT and bam, it just shows it
Dude,
to you right away. It's pretty sick.
I've never tried AI yet. I
Oh,
haven't
it's
tried it
sick.
yet.
Yeah, yeah, get Chat GPT, dude. You'll have a random question about a flange or a valve, and you'll just type it in on that, and it's like has it all right there. No, what I've heard is that, in the next like when we're old, well, when we're your age, Chad, um, basically, and
Hey,
we
admit
have
it
to
though.
go.
I look good for my
You look
age, right?
fantastic. You look fantastic.
Because I know you hit on me before.
Yeah, all the time. But
Sammy did too.
the thing about uh the kids that are going to be doctors for me, say I'm lucky enough to make it to 85, 90, they will be basically, like you said, used to using this to pass their doctorate, used to using
Yeah.
it to pass certain things. And those kids will be like operating on you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, before the operation, you got to sign that waiver. It says, oh, if they screw up, they're not liable for your death, right?
who knows? I don't know, but like, you know what I'm saying though? Like that's true as AI integrates.
You're
But
like, you're basically going, here's my life. I'm putting it in your hands, and whether you know what you're doing or not.
another thing with AI is like you could have some seriously precise surgical machines. Like I forget the
Oh, yeah,
movie.
like robotics and everything, or it can perform like a perfect surgery or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, there's
But,
beautiful things to this and then
yeah.
there's scary things to this. And like I'm not a Terminator watcher, but I watched Terminator recently
Yeah,
and
dude.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, this could go south."
Skynet, it's taking
Well,
over.
you wanna hear something that could be kind of scary?
What's that?
So historically speaking, the government releases technologies to the public in little bursts, right? So, for example, the comic book, and I say comic book, I'm aging myself, Dick Tracy. You know what I mean? Dick Tracy had a watch that he could FaceTime with his directors or whatever. The Dick Tracy comics came out in the 1950s. You know what I'm saying? When did we get a watch that we could FaceTime with people?
Not until after the military had something better.
2010.
2010. So you're talking 60 years. So basically, if you think about it that way, that means that the Chat GPT we got is 60 years behind the
Oh
Chat
shit!
GPT
So
they're
it's already
using right
running
now.
our lives, dude. We don't even
Papi
know.
fuerte, sí, loco. I'm telling
God
you.
damn it!
If
Bro.
they
Why you
just give
have to
it to
bring
us
that
right
up,
now, it's
dude?
because what they're using is
You know
on another
what?
level.
Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah,
Salud.
on that movie Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf.
Bro, that movie was dope.
Yeah. I believe they probably have some form of surveillance hub, like AI thing that can actually, like, I didn't
The
get a lot of
Black
crap.
Knight.
Yeah, who knows, but like I didn't get a lot of crap for this, but I did the check-in for planes, the background thing, where you put your fingerprints down, all that stuff, and then they take a
Or
picture of you.
TSA or the
Yeah, it's like,
pre-check.
yeah, and
All
and
right,
uh
so you can get on the plane faster, and
no,
the
don't have to take my
security's
shoes
like,
off.
yeah,
Yeah, and like it's funny because I did that, and then like I said, I've kind of been out of it. I haven't been
I
listening
did
to
the same thing.
podcasts. Yeah, I haven't been listening to podcasts or anything like that for last year. And I was on my way to work and I played tinfoil hat with Sam Tripley. He's the man. But and they were talking about how ignorant you have to be to get the TSA pre-check because now your fingerprints, now your face. And I'm like, dude, and in my head, I'm like, guys,
They already have all
I don't
that.
know if you know this, but if you have an iPhone, they have everything. This system has everything, bro. Like if you're doing a podcast like you guys are doing, it has everything. It is what it
Oh,
is. Um, but like yeah, like with AI and all the stuff that's happening with that, you're right, Sammy. China, like no matter what, if we like it or
bro,
not, China's gonna proceed.
bro, not even just China. It's if they got it, we got it, bro. Easy. Now,
Yeah,
did you
well,
hear
how many
about the tech?
how many people are selling out too?
Yeah. Have you
The-
heard of the technology where using your Wi-Fi router in your house, they could tell exactly where you're standing and what you're doing?
Yeah,
Your
kind of like
smart
the
TV can
Batman,
do
the Dark
that.
Knight thing. The Dark Knight movie. Whenever he's
Yeah, where they use that echolocation throughout the city from all the cell phone devices and shit,
basically
right?
the
Yep.
Like
same thing, huh?
he could see or
Yep.
whatever, but they were sending out a signal and going by the vibe or the return
Yes.
signals. They can identify kind of like
Yep.
bat radar or whatever, but it was
Hmm.
citywide.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's just real.
Well, they
That
already
shit.
got facial recognition on everybody, dude. There's no
That
way.
too.
You're putting your face on your profile for Facebook or whatever, and now they
Yep.
got it, and they
Oh yeah.
can do your facial recognition. Who knows if they're
Well,
getting,
you know how they got everybody, right? Was with all the Snapchat filters and the fucking Instagram filters, and oh yeah, let me get the little doggy ears and the tongue coming out my shit. Dude, that reads your whole face. That's how they do it. I
I
mean,
think,
shit. Look,
yeah,
look at the
Well,
technology right
iPhone's
now.
already got it if it's doing facial recognition to unlock the phone,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But for
facial
example,
recognition to get into your bank account online or
yep,
pay your bills with credit cards and shit.
yep.
Everybody,
If you,
even fucking PayPal does your facial recognition. I
bro,
know that you don't do it, Drew, but
the technology we're using right now is doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Look at Drew's
Regardless if you know
background. Look
about it
at
or
your
not.
blur. Look at your blur. Every time you put
Yeah.
your head down and it's only your hat showing, it blurs the hat. It's not happening right now because I'm talking about it. But if you look back at the video, you can see right there. It's blurring your hat. And now it sees your face. Oh, okay. And everything, you know what I mean? Same thing with
Yeah.
Drew. He picked up that one drink, and because of the color of the drink was invisible. But it recognizes
His
your
Miller
face, the
High Life,
outline of your body.
yeah.
his tall can of Miller High Life. It
But
got
that
us
shit's
the.
everywhere.
Did you get the 3-pack at the gas station, Drew?
Dude, I'm a seltzer queen, man. Remember,
Oh, I know
I'm not
that, but you're
truly.
drinking Miller High Life, dude.
No, that's me. That's
No,
me.
Oh,
I'm drinking
sorry.
I'm
Sammy's
drinking
gonna.
like an ice right now, Starburst flavor.
A
Um,
what?
it's called ice. It's 0 calories. It's probably got a bunch of
Is
crap
it
in
a
it. It's terrible.
seltzer?
No, you can make them. Yeah, it's a seltzer,
It's
but it's not a beer.
Got alcohol on it or
non-alcoholic.
no?
No, no, they're
Oh.
non-alcoholic. But you could add vodka or something, really
It's like a
spice things
soda
Do
up.
you want to
water.
know what I'm drinking?
I've seen it, Chad. You're getting down on some freaking whiskey, bro. Like getting
So
down.
this is 115 proof, and I'll tell you, it's really smooth for 115 proof.
Yeah.
Dude, not bad for 150 years.
You know, it's
Imagine my liver.
I listened to that new
I'll kick your ass for me, dude.
I listened to that new Morgan Wallen album, and it's like my daddy ran shine or granddaddy ran shine in East Tennessee, you know, and he talks about how the world's gone crazy, but like it lets him know he's crazy, but the world's insane. That album's sick, man. Morgan Wallen's on the Problem is a insanely good album, but like, you know, with AI and everything coming into play right now, I think it's crucial, bro, socially to back off and get away from the stuff
Right.
because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just Orwellian. Everything can become Orwellian.
When did you disconnect from that? From I gotta step away from politics and all that other bullshit or whatever. You know what I mean?
June of last year, I completely just something happened, a circuit happened, and I just everything I cared about and I put in the forefront of my life, which was mainly that kind of stuff, that focus and that energy of listening to Alex Jones, hearing the corruption. You know, they have a saying, if you stare into the abyss long enough, it'll stare back at you. And it
Right.
kind of did. Its own darkness did. And then I just recognized, wait a second. Um, I just want to focus on me, my family, my friends, everybody like that. And that's what I do now. And like I hear, if I just I don't know how to explain it. It just
No,
doesn't.
well, you're focusing on yourself as opposed to what's going on around you. So if everybody minded their own business and worried about their own business, we all get along just fine.
Yeah, and I think if you look at a person as a human, that is kind of in this same psychological warfare as you just have empathy for maybe what they've been distracted with. Like my sister,
Yeah.
she called me when somebody was burning the Tesla cars and stuff like that. And I'm no saint or anything like that, but she was just like, "Can you believe how crazy people about?" And I'm like, "You know what? I don't want to be in that
You
guy's
have the
mind.
best
I
impression.
I don't want to be in that guy's mind because I have sympathy for his mind that he could get to the point where he's so mad at somebody who he doesn't know and go have like this reaction of I'm gonna burn Teslas.
Burned his
And
vehicles.
and I was like, I feel bad for that guy. Like wherever his head's at. Like that's what I'm saying. The humanity in things is not really
Well,
taken.
then he just set on he was like the first one to initiate and it like caught on like it became viral or whatever and everybody else, oh, let's go firebomb Tesla, or is that like a warning or whatever from
Well,
Illuminati kind of shit?
I think when you're an old man like Chad over here, no, I'm just kidding. But when you're an old man about to pass and you're sitting there and
I'm not that close.
I know, I'm just playing, but like, and you're sitting there talking to a 25-year-old young man or something, like, I don't think you're gonna sit there and argue with him and like I think you're going to listen to him and give him the wisdom of what you've learned throughout your life. And like I feel like we all, even though I'm not some Yoda or anything, but like I feel like those are the steps you have to take nowadays. And maybe that's what I'm stepping into. I don't know, but like there's just a better way to do this than divide. And
Right.
that's where they're going with it, and they're not going to stop, and it's just how it works, man. It's just how
Well,
it works.
is the whole divided keep us divided thing to prevent us from all having the same thought like what is it, Sammy? We talked about this
Hive
the other
mind.
day. Yeah,
Collective
enough people think
consciousness.
about it, it happens, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the hive mind theory is
So
crazy.
if enough people don't want to be controlled by the world bankers or whatever we want to say, but
Oh yeah. And you know what, Drew, to the point you were making before about disconnecting from all that negative media, I think it's a vibrational thing. It's a vibe, you know what I mean?
frequency.
They're putting out, yes, they're putting out negative vibrations out there. And now if you think of it, in a large scale, right? How many people are in the United States? You know what I
Supposedly
mean?
350 million.
Right. How many people are burning Teslas?
10. I don't know.
Zero
You know?
point
That
zero
Yeah.
zero 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 1% of the population. But what they're showing you on TV is that small group
yeah.
of people doing some bad shit. And then you get all pissed off when you're at home. You're like, oh, what the fuck? These motherfuckers, wow, they're fucking shit up.
Now the
Now I
way
got a
the
bad. Now my
the
vibe
way
went
the
down. I
the
was
way
gonna have
the
a
media
beer. These
portrays
motherfuckers
it
are
is
burning
that
shit.
it's actually a minority, and they're making them look like a majority.
Uh-huh.
So a lot
And
of
they
people
do
are
that
like,
with a
"Oh,
lot
it's
of
the
shit.
majority. All those people want it, then I want it too, because I want to be with
The
the
majority.
right." Yeah,
Yep.
you know
Yep.
what I
It's
mean?
all manipulation. It's all manipulation, baby.
Right.
It's based on frequency. Let me bring you down. Let me bring you down,
Bring
you
it.
know? And then it gets crazy, right? Because then you think, where does that negative energy go? Is it really
Like the
Archon setting it
bodies,
up? You know what I
like the
mean? Like,
bodies. Where are the new cemeteries?
you
Well,
know, dude, that's what I
Sammy,
told me,
Sammy, to
bro.
talk about to talk about vibration. I remember when I first met you, you were talking to me about the moon, and you were
Hmm.
talking to me about the planet.
Oh, you're talking about the Saturn lunar matrix theory.
Yeah, tell that, please.
So, according to that theory, there's these being called archons, and they feed off of our negative energies, and they're the ones running shit. Um, Supposedly in Saturn, I don't know if it's the North Pole, has that uh, pentagon-shaped superstorm that's been going for hundreds and thousands of millions of years, supposedly.
On the
And
pole,
yeah, supposedly that shit sends out a signal. ¿Qué pasa? The Saturn is so far
because
away from the Earth.
frequency waves make a certain design, right? Certain
Yeah. Oh, yes.
frequencies.
That's very true as well. But they're sending the signal towards Earth, right? Because that's where we are. There's nobody on no other planet as far as we know. And the waves coming from Saturn because of the distance get weak. So then these beings or whatever put the moon around the planet to use it as an amplifier. So then when the weak signal from Saturn hits the moon, it amplifies that signal to hit us harder. Therefore, bring down our vibrations to a negative vibrational frequency, and then they feed off of that. That's
Well, and
basically
they
what
call
makes
that
the
what? What is
theory.
it from the sun?
It's the
When the
lunar
sun
Saturn
has a
matrix.
when the sun has that what do they call it?
The flares,
Yeah, solar
solar
flare.
flares. Oh, dude, speaking of solar flares, supposedly there was a big one yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Today's
Do you feel any different from yesterday?
speaking of the sun and today and yesterday, guess what today is, my G's?
June 20th.
Today is Friday.
It is the summer solstice.
Oh shit! So
So
today's the first day of summer.
today's the first day of summer, supposedly the longest day of the year. But as well, if you look at the different megalithic structures around the planet, on all the solstices, the sun aligns in certain areas. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly which of these uh, is aligned with the the summer solstice versus the winter solstice. You know what I mean? But they say pyramids, the Georgia Guidestones before they got blown up, and some other
Gee, I
different.
wonder why.
Yeah, right. That was pretty crazy. We don't need to get into the Georgia Guidestones though.
No.
But certain things were built around the solstices. So today would be a day where potentially some witchcraft could be going down, or some summer solstice rituals are happening. You know what I mean?
You already know it. You already know that's going down.
And that's today.
Yeah, it's
Right?
Coincidentally the day that Drewcast came back on. You know
I
that?
know, right?
What the?
Oh, coincidentally.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Is that
sent
how
me
you do that?
Yeah.
you sent me an Instagram not too long ago, kind of breaking down Christmas and Easter and
Oh,
all
yeah.
the holidays. And for me, I always thought it was just a marketing scheme for people to sell more candy, but maybe
Mhm.
that's just something that's been corporatized and and turned into that. But there's actually more of a meaning to each one of those holidays that I didn't know about via that Instagram video you sent me, and I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're almost at 2 hours, and thanks for coming on.
Come on.
Well, I gotta end it. I
We
gotta
didn't
go.
even finish all the topics.
We
this is
nailed
part
some
one,
stuff.
homie.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
No,
part
we
one.
didn't go over all of them.
We'll
No,
go
of
over
course
them again.
not. This is part one,
No,
brother.
I wanted to go about the moon landing shit, dude. Come on.
That's gonna be on part 2. Wait for it. Drewcast,
really?
baby, coming out for the winter solstice.
Exactly.
December
There you go.
21st.
No. Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll do winter solstice for sure.
We got to do a winter solstice episode.
You got to remind me, Sammy. December 21st.
Hey, to
December
all my
21st.
future fans out there, give us a like.
Hell yeah! Don't forget to subscribe and follow.
Well, the thing is, I since you guys are my first time on, I always ask people at the end, and I'll start with you, Chad, and then I'll get to you, Sammy. I like to ask people if they have like a memorable quote that they think of or something like that like they think about.
You don't want me to say that.
No, you.
I'll tell you, like my grandpappy said, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Okay. All right. Respect. Sammy, what about you? You got a saying, being from Puerto Rico. Like, your story's cool, man. Being from Puerto Rico, coming up to LA,
don't forget superstar like breakdancer and shit.
Yeah.
He was in movies, breakdance movies. Come on.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Don't be so. Hey, he was exposed to Hollywood. Did you see any?
Did he shit?
Yeah.
Did he see it?
Were you at a party?
No, I did not. I repeat, I did not attend any of those parties. Shit. Saying that I live by, dude, and it's
2 weeks from now, fucking Sammy disappears. The feds grabbed him.
I didn't say a lot. It is all for entertainment purposes.
Right? Entertainment. Right?
A saying that I always say, something I always say, and it's usually positive, but it applies even in the negative times. Everything happens for a reason. We don't know the reason. We don't know why, but there's a reason behind it. We might find out in the future why this or that happened to me today. And then we are all defined by how we react to the things that happen in our life, right? So it could have been a good thing. It could have been a bad thing. It sucks. Don't get down. Everything happens for a reason. Don't kill you, make you stronger. You know what I'm saying? G'd up from the feet up. You know what I mean? Pimpin' since been pimpin' since been pimpin'. You know what I'm saying?
We all learn from our mistakes.
Yes, sir. We become
Touche
better
on
men
that.
afterwards. You know what I mean?
Touche on that. Yeah, man. Life's a journey, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna have ups and you're gonna have downs, and like a lot of enjoy the ups, and just know
it's like being a captain in uncharted seas. You go one direction, you run into trouble, you fucking turn, right?
Yeah.
So you got to navigate life.
It's just
you know what, though?
Keep going.
Speaking of pirates and ships and navigating, you know the tool they use, the sextant, to navigate. It's a little thing with a flap on the bottom, and then like a
it's like a fucking
line.
Templar. It's like a not a Templar, but what is it? You know what I'm talking about? 30 Masons.
Masons.
It's like a Mason square shit.
It's a tool used for navigating and the ancient.
Right, I know what a sextant is. Yeah, it's supposed to line up the stars.
I know, Chad, but I'm not telling you. I'm telling the viewers. May not know what a sextant is. I know you know, Papa. You probably invented that shit, bro.
Been too many of these. I'm sorry.
You probably invented the sextant. But anyways, when Chad invented the sextant,
he doesn't love to watch it drunk, right? Especially in
the reason why Chad created the sextant was to travel the oceans using the position of the stars. Well, what's interesting about that is that the sextant only works on the flat Earth model.
And with that, you guys have a good night.
I never heard that.
That's crazy.
Oh, look it up. Look it up.
That's crazy. That's a good thing to go out on, dude.
Dude, hell yeah, dude.
Thanks for coming on, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And
it's fun.
We'll do it again. Winter solstice, baby. All right, peace out, everybody.
All right, fellas,
All right,
peace
love you.
out.